All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Black Factor. I'm your host, Brian Forbes. Pardon me. Welcome to the Black Factor, where perspective is everything. And I got news that you can use, just so you know. So, man, today, y'all, it has been one hectic and out of control kind of day. It is so much stuff going on. There are so many things happening right now. It is unreal. So because of that, I got a lot to talk about. And we're going to bring that heat today, y'all. We going to talk about everything. We ain't going to miss nothing. I say that, but y'all know I tend to forget stuff. So I hope that I'm able to remember most of the stuff that I want to talk about. I want y'all to know I got a whole book full of notes. I got notes. Cynthia TG, I see you in the building. Valerie, I see you. I appreciate you all for coming and checking with your boy. Now listen, y'all, if we have any technical difficulties during this broadcast, please let me know. Keep me notified. And the reason why is because we had a glitch in the matrix today. It has been a very long day, and I have had to jump through 10,000 technical hoops to repair the things that needed to be so that we could do this show tonight. And I refuse to not do this show tonight because there's way too much happening for me not to do this show tonight. It's too much we got to talk about. Too much stuff that I got to add a little flavor and a little bit of spice to. A little something. We got to put a little something on it, put a little stank on it. Tiffany, I see you. Thank you for checking in. Renee Ford, I see you. So we're going to put a little stank on it tonight, y'all. So y'all hang tight. Let's get this party started. Let me gather my thoughts. Y'all know I'm scatterbrained, but let me gather my thoughts, and we're going to get this thing going. Hang on. All right. Man, so I know most of y'all are pretty aware of all the stuff that's going on. Now, I want to joke about a lot of this stuff, but I'm going to be honest with you. Most of this shit ain't funny. It's a lot of stuff happening, man. But today's show in particular, I want to show y'all the parallels between what we're witnessing right now in our government and in our society, and how it applies and how it pertains to our past. You know, America has two societies. There are two Americas. There are two different ways that things get done as it pertains to us and them, which is unfortunate. On some levels, it's unfortunate. On other levels, it really ain't a bad thing. But one good thing did happen today. That is that old Twitler, I can't call him Twitler no more. He no longer has a Twitter account. They banned Donald Trump from Twitter, finally. Instagram did it a long time ago. Facebook done it. Now Twitter has finally cut Donald Trump water off. That right there alone, y'all, deserves a round of applause. Thank you, Twitter, for stopping the madness. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. If they had cut him off sooner, I believe that we probably would not have suffered as much as we have. And in fact, he probably wouldn't have got elected. I mean, let's just keep it 100, you know. It's just, you know, we're living in two Americas. Well, not now. We've always lived in two Americas. And that's because we're under an illusion. We're under the illusion of inclusion. And it's unfortunate that we continue to have to deal with the attitudes that we do. But see, y'all have heard me say it before. I'll repeat it. We live amongst people who see themselves as better. They have a superiority complex. You know, we always hear about people with inferiority complexes, but these people have a superiority complex. Very arrogant. And we're going to talk about that arrogance too today. Here's the what's sad about what we witnessed on Wednesday. All this nonsense, the death toll is at 5. All of this nonsense is based on a lie. In America, lies have been the very thing that have carried this country in a lot of ways. A lot of cover-ups, a lot of people who feel as though they are above the law, who think that they can do and say whatever they want, behave in ways that they feel like behaving. This picture right here is one of many that we have all seen before. That is a picture of a lynch mob. Why is that important? Because the mob mentality is exactly what has kept white supremacy, or what appears to be white supremacy, alive and well in America. And like that picture of the lynch mob, what we witnessed on Wednesday was very much that of a lynch mob. The thing is, I don't know if you all saw this, but at the Capitol, someone took it upon themselves during this riot to put a gallows with a noose out there, symbolically trying to say that we are here, we are a lynch mob, and we are going to hang any detractors. Isn't it funny how this right here just seems to be somewhat of a symbol of America? Forget the bald eagle. we have the bald eagle as a symbol of America. I think the noose would probably be a better symbol, because it always seems to come up whenever somebody feels like they need justice and they can't do it the right way, or they can't get it legally, or they're doing something that they have no business doing because their fragile persons have been offended. Now, I'm going to start out by completing or talking about our outgoing commander-in-chief, liar-in-chief, who is in a quandary right now. It turns out, and I'm happy to say, that finally they're talking about impeachment. And as a matter of fact, they are introducing articles of impeachment on Monday. And he has been told that if he does not step down, that they will be impeaching him. Now, a lot of people don't think it's a good idea for a few different reasons. One of those reasons is that they think it's going to hurt politically. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing that anybody can do anymore at this point that could hurt, that could cause any more of a problem than what we've already seen. I'm sorry. The other thing is, what's most important about this impeachment, what's most important about the necessity to bring forward articles of impeachment, and that is that if this happens, number one, he'll be the first president in history to have ever been impeached twice. And they should have got him the first time. I think Mitch McConnell wishes he had not blocked that. But not only will he be the first president to ever be impeached twice, but if they do introduce articles of impeachment, it means that he will not be running in 2024. That's out the window. So, and if he steps down, that's also out the window. So the beautiful part about this is that it's going to stop a whole lot of nonsense. That's going to cut back on the idea that he will continue to fire up the masses. Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to do that, but the funny thing is that right now, man, you got so many people jumping ship. They running away from this dude like rats off a sinking ship. They trying to get away from him, which is a good thing. But there are particular individuals, his own personal sycophants, who now currently have blood on their hands. Blood on their hands. We already know of 4 people who have died. We talked about them the other day. 3 of them had medical emergencies during this melee. One of them was shot in the neck, and that was the young lady who seemingly is not getting very much sympathy by and large across the internet and on social media. I haven't seen anybody show a whole lot of not even empathy for her because, of course, a lot of people say, you know, she had a chance to stay home. But here's the thing. I thought Blue Lives Matter. I was told Blue Lives Matter. Well, because some of these mobsters attacked a Capitol Police officer, Mr. Brian Sicknick. He is now deceased. These mobsters killed a cop. They killed, effectively, one of their own. But these are the same people that rant and rave all day and night, all on Facebook, all on social media about Blue Lives Mattering. Well, I guess they don't matter that much. Not anymore. Because they took the life of one of their own. Now, I'm sorry, y'all, but what happened? How did we get here? How did we get here where it's okay? Now, here's the part that I find somewhat incredible. The arrogance and hubris of many of the people who were involved, many of those same people who have been now arrested. Oh, by the way, let me I hope many of you have your resumes online and in order, because it's going to be a whole lot of job openings. I've been running across and seeing a whole bunch of CEOs, people in high positions, business owners who now their businesses are suffering greatly because of their participation in this event. And, you know, and it's funny because who would have thought, and I'm sure they didn't think, that this was going to turn into what it has turned into. On yesterday, all the way down here in San Antonio, a topic came up about someone that I'm familiar with. And it really tripped me out because the person, somebody went and pulled their picture and their information and asked or suggested that the rest of us should boycott that business. Several people got upset about it and said, why would we boycott a black business? That's not the thing to do. Well, the funny thing is, this person has pictures of herself all at the melee, all out there with the rioters and the subversive individuals who decided they were going to take over the country. And she's black, or let me put it this way. She appears black, but it has been said that she suggests that she is not black. And she has decided, much like this guy, that it's okay to be a part of a mob that, if they had it their way, people like him would be back in chains. But of course, they don't see it that way. They believe that they have the right complexion for the connection. Anyway, these people who are now being arrested, like the guy who was at Nancy Pelosi's desk with his feet kicked up, stole her mail and vandalized her office. This guy arrogantly went all on the news being interviewed and telling everybody how this is his house and he can come through there when he wants to and put his feet up. Well, now he's under arrest. The difference between, and I'm happy to say that the difference between this and the only other insurrection that's taken place governmentally in this country, no one was ever arrested or charged. But here this time, people are being held accountable so far. But the arrogance that he exhibited, it kind of reminds me of the arrogance that we witnessed throughout the period from the 1900s moving forward, where lynch mobs would accost someone, hang them, do different things to them, sort of like Emmett Till, and others like him, like the Cheney and Schwerner, and I can't think of the third name. I'm sorry, it slips my mind. Who were murdered down in Money, Mississippi, for trying to register black voters, and the arrogance of the individuals who did it, knowing full well that they would not be prosecuted. Yeah, they got charged, but so what? They didn't admit to it, but they didn't exactly deny it, but they never got convicted. So the thing about it, let me put it this way. Some of those people did end up getting convicted years later, like Byron Dele Beckwith. Remember him? That's the man who shot Medgar Evers. It took decades for him to get prosecuted. This is the sort of arrogance that we're witnessing right now. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because this is exactly how history repeats itself. This is exactly how it shows you that the laws of this country may change, but the attitudes of the individuals do not. And for some reason, we seem to miss that particular little thing. Now, when I think about this young lady who locally seems to now be getting dragged. Now, the question is this. If you're a business owner or you're a person in business and you attended or participated in this insurrection and you decided that you were going to go and pick up the Capitol and take it away, something or whatever they thought they were going to do as far as the government is concerned, either you don't care about who patronizes your business and you got plenty of money and you don't care about the money, or you're foolish. One or the other. Now, if the people that you jump out there with are the people that's going to continue to pay your bills and support you, then cool. But don't get upset when people like myself choose not to do business with you. I have a certain level. I got standards. I'm not, all money ain't good money. That's just me. I learned that back in the streets of Chicago many, many years ago. All money just ain't good money. But when I think about a person like that and that guy that I just showed you a picture of, it sort of reminds me of something like this. Now, I've not been able to figure out this right here. Someone sent me this earlier in regard to that situation, but it's very reminiscent of exactly where some of these people are without, and they'll say, well, these people never did anything to me. Okay. But pay attention to that hood. Because all of the people that are running around right now, and this is the funny part, because I personally saw where this particular individual made a point of saying that it wasn't Donald Trump supporters who raided the White House. Raided the Capitol. It wasn't them. They didn't do it. Antifa did it. Antifa and Black Lives Matter did it. That's what she said. Facts. I have seen several individuals on social media high profile people make the same statement. So I guess the guy who had his feet kicked up behind the desk is Antifa now. I guess the guy who was wearing the bullhorns, who everybody is familiar with, and as a matter of fact, there are several of these individuals who apparently are good friends with particular politicians, and they think that all of this is perfectly fine. Now, speaking of the guy with the horns, they claim is Antifa. Well, imagine that. So are we saying that Giuliani and friends are now friends with Antifa? Or is that a Trump supporter? You can't have it both ways. See, what we're witnessing right now, to me, is the equivalent of putting on one of those hoods. You want to do dirt. Wasn't me. It wasn't us. Nah. Y'all hands are dirty. Y'all hands are bloody. You are guilty, and you're going to go to court. You're going to be found guilty. You're going to be prosecuted. The other part that I find incredibly amazing are these guys. And then what's really even funny to me, these people literally put themselves on Front Street with their chest stuck out, fists in the air. We're going to take over. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And now they're backtracking. This, you see his shirt? That shirt says Civil War, January 6th, 2021. Civil War. But he's supposed to get a pass with his Trump flag and everything. Are these Antifa? No, we know they're not. Stop the madness. Just stop it. Just cut it out. Okay. Now, thing is, all of Donald Trump's sycophants, dick riders, are now backtracking. They're scared. They're running. They're jumping ship. Funny thing I saw today, I thought this was very interesting. Y'all pay attention to this right here. This is a real interesting clip. Oh, wait a minute. We don't have sound? Well, anyway, let me tell you, just in case the sound is not up, that is Lindsey Graham being heckled and chased and told that he is no good and that he is a traitor, because he himself stood on the floor the other day and told those people that he was out. Now they don't like Lindsey Graham. There are many more like him who are now the targets of these people who they loved so much earlier. Ted Cruz. I got a special place in my heart for him. Today says that he never agreed with Donald Trump. Are you serious, bro? That boy got Donald Trump nuts in his mouth like a squirrel. And now, because he knows that his career is on the line, he wants to run. Nah, bruh. The other day, you were busy running your mouth. There are a group of individuals who have enabled this clown. These are the same people who caused this insurrection to happen. See, this ain't all Donald Trump's fault. This is his enablers' fault. They also have their hands way up in this. They did all of this. They helped this. Donald Trump Jr. on stage, riling up the crowd, mildly retarded. I don't know if that was politically correct. I don't really care. Y'all can get mad at me if you want to. This guy, I think he thinks he's going to run for office. Him and his family are going to be busy trying as hard as they can to remain free and not in the penitentiary, because they are getting ready to get called out. Mark my words. Now, y'all know I make my predictions on this show, and I'm usually not wrong. The times that I say I hope I am wrong is when something like Wednesday happened. I wasn't wrong. I told y'all during the Christmas and Insurrection show, I laid it out exactly the way it went down. You don't believe me? Go back and watch that show. It came down exactly like I said it would. Now, you got the Lindsey Grahams of the world and our special friend, Rudy Giuliani. Now, remember, we did a whole show where we talked about him and how he basically just pissed his entire career out the window. The legacy that he would have had he gone and sat down somewhere, he destroyed. He now looks like the village idiot. This guy should be disbarred. I don't know what bar association would allow somebody like him to continue to practice law. The New York Bar Association and any other association that he is a member of, to be legally recognized as an attorney, he should be kicked the hell out. He should lose his law license. He helped incite this. He stood up on that stage the other day and egged those people on to go down Pennsylvania Avenue and raise hell. He should be disbarred for that. Fox News, OAN, Newsmax. Remember all of those news agencies who were running around kept talking about the Dominion voting machines and how they were no good and how they were cheating and robbing and stealing the election? Who had to retract all of that because they were about to get their ass sued off. OAN and Newsmax can't afford them kind of hits. Fox can take it. OAN and Newsmax can't take it. They'll be out of business. They backed up off of that. See, stupidity is knowing the truth, but deciding you're going to believe the lie. See, those are the Trump supporters. That's what they do. They want to believe what they want to believe because it fits the narrative of their arrogance and their need to feel superior, although they are not. Now, here's a guy who I personally cannot wait until they get through manhandling his ass. I'm going to stop cussing tonight, y'all. No, I'm not. Let me stop lying. This guy right here. Oh, I so look forward to the fallout that's coming to him. Mr. I'm going to contest the vote. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to delay it. Oh, yeah. The newspapers in Missouri have already begun asking for his resignation. I think him and Ted Cruz thought that if they did all of this, that it was going to somehow help their political careers. They have committed career suicide. These guys are done. Nobody is going to ever take their word. Nobody's going to believe nothing they had to say. Nobody is going to deal with them. They're done. It's over. And rightfully so. They need to be done. Now, see, I got my list together, y'all. Now, here's a very funny story that I just found out about. Now, look, this stuff is happening so fast these last couple of days. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I can't keep up. I'm not even going to begin to try to list all the names and individuals that have their hands that are dirty, that are involved in all of this. It would take all night. I would take up an entire show listing names and what they did. That's how many of them it is. But here's a good one. Tommy Tuberville. the newly elected senator. This guy, here's a funny story. So Tommy Tuberville, who used to be a coach, who now is a political figure, who is a Donald Trump sycophant, while the Capitol was being bombarded, raided, and basically vandalized by these knuckle-dragging, toothless Neanderthals, and he and his constituents, his colleagues, were in the Capitol, huddled down, all trying to stay clear of a potential mass shooting. Donald Trump called one of these senators to ask him to work toward delaying the vote. I don't know if you heard what I said. Let me back up. While these knuckle-dragging, toothless Neanderthals were raiding the Capitol, and these senators and congresspeople, our lawmakers of this country, the most powerful group of individuals on the planet, collectively, in the most sacred building on the planet, was being raided, Donald Trump called to tell them he wanted them to find a way to delay the vote. So he tells them, look, man, we are in here. They are breaking down the doors. They're shooting in here. And all he could talk to them about was delaying the vote. So the other senator hands Tommy Tuberville the phone after a heated discussion and tells him what he wants him to do. And here's the most disgusting part of it all. When it came time for them to resume the vote at 3 a.m, or whatever time it was, I was up. I can't even remember. My days started to run together. These clowns, after all of this, still took it upon themselves to contest the Pennsylvania Electoral College vote. It's insanity. And all of this from what? Based on a lie. Now let's talk about lies. Historically speaking, do we know how many black people have been lynched in the history of these United States because someone took it upon themselves to say that black man disrespected that white woman, that black man touched that white woman, that black man whistled, Emmett Till, at that white woman? Lies that got entire towns decimated. Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. There have been so many massacres in this country that have been hidden from history. See, they don't teach you that in the history books. They don't tell you all of the times that white folks have gone out of their way to destroy everything black people have worked for. But they will tell you now when you talk to them, get a job. You need to get a job. Y'all excuse me for 1 second. I'll be right back. I had that loud fan going on over there. Okay. They'll tell you, get a job. How many times have we heard that? See, I'm getting ready to bring something to your attention about that. There's only been, now we watched this the other day. There's only been one successful coup d'etat in the history of the United States. There's only been one successful bombing by air in these United States. That happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, in Wilmington, North Carolina, one coup d'etat that was successful in these United States happened in American history. 1898. white mobs attacked the city of Wilmington, which, and I say white mobs, they were white vigilantes, but also these white vigilantes were joined by who else? None other than the militia. Now, my Black Factor family, those who have been with me for a while, and by the way, welcome new comers. But in my other Black Factor family who's been with me for a while will remember that we did a show where I specifically talked about the militia, its history, and how it applies to us today. But guess what? The militia joined these white vigilantes. These are your police today now, the militia. And they massacred the people, lawmakers in this place. Now, they overthrew the newly elected government officials who were biracial. This government was made up of black people, white people, people of mixed race, and all of that. Now, at the time, we always talk about Black Wall Street, but during that time, this was one of America's, or should I say the South, one of the most progressive cities in the South. Black folks making their way, doing what they do. But like this administration that we are about to finally kick in the butt, they used fear tactics. That's how they got all of these scared white people to turn on the government. Sound like somebody we know, right? See, Donald Trump and them scare everybody talking about liberals and socialists. And they claim that, liberals and socialists are going to take over the country and they're going to destroy everything. Well, back then it was these black people are going to change our white way of life. They're going to make our white women not like us anymore. Fear mongering, which is exactly what Donald Trump does and has done, which is exactly why this failed attempt at a coup d'etat took place on Wednesday. According to them, they were going to endanger the lives of the white women and their children and just ruin everything that they knew, destroy their way of life. The white city leaders vowed, they made a promise to choke the current of the Cape Fear with black carcasses. In other words, they were going to make sure that these black folks was good and dead. And they were going to throw their bodies in the river to show that they did what they were going to do. Now, these were the white city leaders, but keep in mind that the government was mostly run by black folks. Now, remember this. Now, we did a show about this too. I know I always talk about my old shows. And the reason I do that is because you're only going to get so much out of one of my shows because I can't do an entire history in one show. But we talked about how all of these things end up tying themselves together. So they decided that they were going to put a stop to this. All of this plays out behind Reconstruction. See, we did that entire show where we talked about how black people were prominent in politics after the Emancipation Proclamation and began to vote and were registered to vote and moved forward socially and economically, but were shut down once there was an election between Hardin. When Hardin took office, he made a deal because they went through a very similar, well, not similar to this, but there was some discrepancy in the vote. And in order for them to stop fighting them for the vote, They agreed to pull the troops out of the South. See, this is the part. This is where Reconstruction got killed off. They pulled those troops out of the South. They wanted the North to go back home and mind their business so the South could get back to their states' rights and their attempts to maintain slavery. But the way they did that was through black codes, which was basically slavery, but they used the law to do it. That's why when you read the Constitution in the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, you'll see the part where it says no person is slavery is abolished except for if you are incarcerated, and basically they can do whatever they want with you. See, that's why you got to know your stuff. So when Reconstruction was basically shut down, this is when these types of things started to take place. All of the progress that had been made by people who had been slaves and their descendants was deconstructed, dismantled by this sort of thing. Now, when they finished with the massacre, more than 100 black government officials, city council, the city clerk, the treasurer, the city attorney, and many others had been forcibly removed from their elected roles. Estimates between 60 and 250 black people were murdered. Now, you can guess who said 60, and you can guess who said 250. And 9 times out of 10, the 60 is wrong, because we know who came up with that number. No one was ever prosecuted for that massacre. And in fact, that massacre had been hidden for 100 years. It was 75 years estimated before any black person ever took office again in Wilmington, North Carolina. More than 100,000 black folks left Wilmington, North Carolina behind that. And not just 100,000 black folks, 100,000 registered voters. See, 100,000 ran for their lives. The city had 65 doctors. They had lawyers, they had educators, they had barbers, restaurant owners, public health officials, police, firemen. But you don't hear about this in those history books that they love so much. That's that arrogance and that hubris, always sticking his head out. Because guess why? This is the exact same reason why you see these arrogant folks on TV right now, over social media, acting like, hey, it ain't gonna affect me. Why? Because they think that they're not gonna be touched. That's why they were so happy to run through the Capitol like nothing was going to happen to them, because they feel like Donald Trump is going to protect them. Donald Trump will be lucky if he can protect himself. They are looking to file charges against him for this insurrection, for inciting this riot. People believe, and this is a mistake that a lot of people make, they have this thing in their head where they think that you have the right to say whatever you want. You have the right, your First Amendment rights and so on. But what you don't understand is that there are laws against going into a crowded movie theater and yelling fire. You can say whatever you want, and you can do whatever you want. Just know there are consequences. There are consequences. You will pay for it. These people do not believe, or at least they didn't believe the other day, that they would be convicted, which is exactly why they did what they did, behaved the way that they did, because they didn't think nothing would happen. They thought they'd walk away. Well, thankfully, social media has exposed the majority, a great deal of them. So when I go back and I think about the person that I was speaking about earlier, who was so happy to be seen, her little black face out there with all of the white people tearing up the Capitol. And of course, she'll say I had nothing to do with that because it was Antifa, because that's what she said. If her business suffers, it's her own fault. I have a question for anybody that's in business that disagrees with me. Would you fly a Trump flag as a black person? Would you fly a Trump flag in front of your business? I bet you wouldn't do it. Listen, here's the thing with me. I'm getting personal. I don't care what your politics are. As a matter of fact, I've been told by some of my conservative friends that I'm closer to a Republican than I am a Democrat. I don't care to identify with either, but I'm closer to a Republican than I am a Democrat because I do have some very conservative views. And I don't have a problem with people and their beliefs and the way they do things. But what I do have a problem with is when it causes people to die. I do have a problem when it is hateful and evil. I don't care what your politics are. When you've lost your humanity, I don't want nothing to do with you. When you support somebody that has lost their humanity, I don't want nothing to do with you. It's just as simple as that. If you knew somebody personally who went out and shot up a school full of kids, I mean, you gonna go kick it with them while they out on bail? Yeah, well, good. I won't. You do what you want. I won't. I'm just saying. To each his own. I got better things to do. My integrity ain't set up that way. I can't do it. Now, call it judging. I don't really care what you call it. But I can pick and choose the people that I choose to surround myself with. Because believe it or not, the company you keep, it matters. It matters financially. It matters on a whole bunch of levels. And there's levels to all of this. I choose not to surround myself with a bunch of people who would think that running up in the capital of the United States of America, threatening the lives of the lawmakers of this country, was a good idea. How many people, when they were younger, hung out with their friends and they knew their friends was about to go do something stupid? And they was like, I'm gonna go along for the ride. Do you think that was smart? I bet you didn't. I bet you figured it out at some point. I'm sorry, y'all. Drop me off. I ain't getting into that. I know a whole bunch. Listen, I know people that's doing decade calendars behind dumbass decisions. Some of these people from this week, they're going to jail. It's going to be some examples made. And it's going to be a few black folks in there. And we're going to see if it was all worth supporting Donald Trump. Somebody who wouldn't even wipe your ass if you needed him to, if you was on your deathbed. He wouldn't even turn a cheek to you. But you thought going to Washington and doing all of this made sense. Just like the lady who got killed. She thought it was a great idea to go to Washington to support Trump. And now her family is without. And she's dead. Now, that brings me to this individual who I thought this was rather peculiar. Just a little something I noticed. And somebody pointed out. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this in particular. I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to play it back. Oh. My doggone sound is not... Okay.
And what happened? You were trying to go inside the Capitol?
Yeah, I made like a foot inside, and they pushed me out, and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
It's a revolution. All right, now, she said it's a revolution. We're storming the Capitol. She's going to jail. Give her just 1 minute. Now, there's something about this video that was pointed out to me that I want to point out to you. And I thought this very curious. Let me see. Right there. Now, I want you to take a good look at her hand. Forgive the line. That's the little track that goes on the thing. But I want you to look right here in her hand. Do you see that? Right there in that towel. That looks like an onion to me. She's out there crying and all dramatic for the camera. Looks like she's taking an onion and rubbing it across her face, saying she's been maced. There are some sick people out here.
I got maced.
You got
They
me. And what happened? You were trying to go inside the
Yeah,
Capitol?
I made like a foot inside and they pushed me out and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you
My
from?
name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Now, how dumb are you? My name is Elizabeth and I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, won't be hard to find that one. You are a sitting duck. Today, a gentleman, and I use that term lightly, loosely, from Illinois, who was a high-ranking member at Consignia, was arrested for his part in this. Imagine that. There is, y'all, I got so much stuff to talk about. I got so much to go over. There's a guy, let me see. Let me find his picture. There's a guy who, it turns out, where's his picture? Doggone it. Let's see. This guy is, oh yeah, here he is. Here this guy is. Now I want you to take a look at this dude. His name is, what is his name? Doggone it, I had it. Derek Evans. He is a West Virginia lawmaker. This is a guy who makes laws in West Virginia. One of their senators. West Virginia lawmaker records himself storming the U.S. Capitol, yelling, "We're in." How dumb are you? And they elected this dude. He's a government official in that state. Well, it is West Virginia. No offense to the West Virginians. I'm just saying. Anyway, and he claims he's an independent journalist. And I'm an independent journalist and I can go where I want. Well, needless to say, he's been asked by the governor to resign, step down, get back, get away, move around, player. Get on like you've been shit on. So, this is a thing. This is happening to several people. He's not the only one. It turns out that there were police officers, lawmakers, doctor lawyers, Indian chiefs. Now, let me stop playing. There were a lot of people in very high positions. Tania Foster, in the words of Donald J. Trump, I love the poorly educated. There you have it. This is exactly right. See, this is where we are. This is where we have landed. And these people, in their heads, in their minds, all of this is perfectly normal and perfectly fine. And everything is everything. And we're supposed to trust these people to make laws and do things that benefit us as a society. I'm sorry. Again, these are your people who are reminiscent of those who at one time would don the pointed hoods and jump on their horses and ride out in the night. The night riders. They were your local sheriffs. See, these things only apply. This is why, like I said, there's two Americas. These things only apply to black folks. Ain't no white folks worried about people showing up to do things to them because of the color of their skin. That's only a black thing. White people don't have to live that existence. See? But this is where we are historically. Oh, wait a minute. It's current events. It's not history. It's happening right now in front of us, in our faces. They don't have to hide anymore, especially under this current and soon to be gone Cheeto Jesus. It's almost over, y'all. Well, it's actually over because right now he better not sneeze, because they're liable to go and put him in handcuffs and do the perp walk right up out of office. Now, not only was this guy Derek Evans there, there's a young lady by the name of Amanda Chase, who is also a Republican state senator and gubernatorial candidate. And she's also been asked to resign while she was there at the insurrection. She, after the raid, the attack, went on social media and praised those who attended. And she also claimed that these weren't Trump supporters, these were Antifa. Once again, hiding under the hood of Donald Trump to pretend like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong, and hide their hands. Do y'all know that today Donald Trump said that he didn't do anything wrong? Well, perspective is everything. I say all the time on this show, right? In his perspective, he didn't do anything wrong. In his mind, everything he's done has been right. As far as getting what he wants, yeah, it's right for him. But the hell with everybody else. These are the two Americas. But the funny thing about these two Americas is that right now you have individuals who look just like me, who claim, oh, these people have the right to believe whatever they want. They have the right to say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. And then you wonder why we're in the condition we're in right now. They're not. They don't have the right to do whatever they want. Last show we discussed the difference in response to these events. I hate to keep saying it, and you know I don't like to use what white people do as a measuring stick for the things that black people do. However, back in June, when Black Lives Matter had their peaceful march until somebody decided to shoot rubber bullets and spray mace and pepper spray and push the crowd back and do the flashbang bombs with a military force with tanks in the street and automatic machine guns and that type of thing. See, because that's how they responded to Black Lives Matter. Yet here we have I don't even want to call him a president anymore, who went on TV yesterday and told another, I've lost count, because we know that there have literally probably been hundreds of thousands of lies, that he called the National Guard immediately. It's already been proven and understood that Mike Pence is the one who called the National Guard. Mike Pence was the one that was trapped and pinned down in the Capitol and had to be evacuated, not Donald Trump. Mike Pence is the one who called the National Guard. Donald Trump did nothing. I told you earlier, he was actually on the phone with a lawmaker telling him to delay the vote while they were under attack. And sadly, Ted Cruz and these other clowns, sycophants, returned to the chamber to try it all again. After everything that happened, 4 people dead, and they still thought this was a good idea to continue with this manufactured lie about this election. When you have people who are so brain dead that they don't understand that it's a lie, or they do know that it's a lie, but they don't care because they want chaos anyway. Those are called anarchists. And yes, we have those in America. You just witnessed it. But here's the funny thing, and this is the part that I love the most. I want y'all to understand something. While I understand that the Constitution of this country was never written for black people, when they wrote that Constitution, we were still in chains. Here's what I do love about it. It works. It has worked. They have tested this country to its very core. Donald Trump and his minions, his cult members, the chimpanzees, have tested this democracy to the very foundation of everything that we know. And it held up. They are running scared right now. What I find funny, these people ran, they say it was about 40,000 of them down there that day. Now we know only a few thousand ran up in the Capitol. Doesn't matter. But here was what I found the most hilarious. They ran up in the Capitol after they broke in and ran up in there, had their free run of the building. They turned around and walked out. In fact, I've got video of the police literally holding the doors for them while they filed out like they were at a museum, like they had just left an exhibit. But they ran in there and they were standing around looking like a bunch of idiots. Like, well, we here now. What do we do? They had no clue what to do at that point. They were stuck. Like, oh, we're here. Guess what? You can't run up in a Capitol building. What did you think you were going to do? Go there and take the building away? You thought that's how you were going to change democracy? You thought that having the ability to break in and use your mob mentality and force to get inside of a building that represents this government, that you would just be able to turn things around? You were going to change things? Idiots. It's not how this government works. This is why I love the founding fathers. Either were brilliant as hell, had a crystal ball, or they know their people. They know their people so well that they knew that this day could come, and they prepared for it. They had every safeguard in place so that when this happened, and they knew it would, there's nothing you can do. We still have 3 branches of government. Did you think going in there and disrupting that branch, disrupting it, because you can't change it? There's still 50 states here, and we still operate under states' rights. What did you think? See, this is what this brain dead, knuckle dragging, toothless Neanderthals thought they were going to run up in there and lynch somebody. Even if you had ran up in there and lynched anybody, if you had ran up in there with an assault rifle and killed 4 or 5 people, still wasn't going to change the way this government is structured. It's brilliant. Y'all need, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you surely need a civics lesson. This year within itself has been an incredible civics lesson. We have witnessed our democracy at work in ways that we never have before. Anybody who goes out here and claims that voting don't count, I'm going to need you to give Stacey Abrams a call in Georgia. I'm going to need you to go on over to Georgia and check with my people over there and see how this thing really works. See, I'm tired of the cop-outs. I'm tired of all of the people walking around with acting like knuckle draggers. Oh, man, this don't work. This ain't got nothing to do with us. Oh, yeah, it does. That's why I can't condone nor support people who will put themselves in front of this nonsense that we just saw the other day. Black folks that would run out there and work against their own damn best interest. I hope they lock your ass up too. I hope they get you. I promise I hope they get you. I hope they get all y'all, especially y'all. I hope they make an example out of you because you're idiots. I don't give a damn if you don't like what I'm saying. Call me on it. Do something. That's what I'm gonna say. Do something. Cause I ain't always been a cat on this microphone. Trust that. Do something. I don't care if you don't like it. It's the truth. And I know y'all got a problem with the truth. But that's what it is. And at the end of the day, all you got yourself was in trouble. That's it. None more, none less. Because you don't understand. If those people understood civics and how this really works, this ain't no movie. If you understood how this really worked, you would have never ran your ass to Washington thinking you was getting ready. You can go there and protest. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you thought you was doing the same thing that people from Black Lives Matter who are trying to get justice and equality, if you thought you were doing that, you're sadly mistaken. How do white people jump up and down and complain about a system they created? Y'all made this, but wasn't nobody black involved in writing the Constitution. Black people was in chains. Y'all created this. How you gonna get mad at a system you made? I'm sorry. Forgive me. I don't get it. Help me with that one. But then again, this is America. This is America. Two Americas. The America where black folks live and we have to survive through all of this. And the one where that y'all created that you got a problem with because you don't know how to work the controls. They call that user error. When you buy something, you buy a new toy, a new car, a new appliance, a new computer, and you don't know how to operate it. It's called user error. It ain't nothing wrong with the system. There's something wrong with the user. Ain't nothing wrong with this democracy. There's something wrong with the users. And if you don't know how it works, guess what? Get the book and read it. Pick up the pamphlet. Pick up the instructions, dumbass. That's how this works. See, don't blame somebody else for what you're not or what you can't be because you didn't take the time to educate yourself on how this works. Ain't nothing wrong with the system. It's about the users. And when you continue to put people in place to operate the controls of this system for you that do not work in your favor, that makes the system itself operate where it benefits you, whose fault is that? That's why you got to vote. Some of y'all got the delusion of inclusion. We don't get included, but I ain't tripping because every time somebody tries to shut me down, every time black people have ever been denied in this country, which has been a tremendous amount, all we've ever done is overcome it. And all we've done is overcome it and become stronger for it. Don't y'all understand that the easy way of getting things done doesn't benefit you? You can look at a brick in your way as something to trip over or something to step up on. It's all about perspective, baby. That's what I tell y'all on this show all the time. Perspective is everything. That's the black factor. It's all about perspective. And I'm here to offer that to you. So you decide. You either going to trip over that brick or complain about it being in your way, or you're going to use it as a stepping stone to the next level. That's what black people do. We got stepping stones, baby. And we're going to step up. And we always have and we always will. Can't stop that. Every time y'all try as hard as you can to demean, destroy, feel like you're better than, you have to put us down to make yourself feel better. What does that say about you? If you think we care, we so past that. That's why you can't call me a nigga. Because I'm going to laugh in your face. Like, I hope you could do better than that. We've been that for 500 years, 400 and some years. If that's all you got, dog, your technology is out of date. You got to do better than that. You got to come with something a little stronger, because that don't move me. It don't move me in the least. You got me confused with them feeble-minded knuckle draggers like yourself. I ain't going. So here we are, y'all. I know. I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. Y'all, yesterday, while all of this nonsense that we're talking about on the news is going on, 4,085 people died from COVID. I had the unfortunate news today that two of my very, very, very good friends are in intensive care with COVID. I've already lost multiple friends and family from this. The only thing I can say to you all, please, please, please cover up. Please put on your masks. Please wash your hands. Please take care of yourselves and your family and one another. This is not a joke, and it's only getting worse. That's the killing part. But these same knuckle draggers that's running around out there at the Capitol at that super spread event we just watched the other day, spreading this thing all over the place. Them same people feel like if you tell them they got to wear a mask, you're infringing on their rights. Half of them ain't even picked up a book and don't know what their rights even are. And y'all know what I say all the time. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. I'm going to give my condolences to Officer Brian Sicknick, who passed on yesterday evening from injuries sustained from these wild banshees who decided to raid the Capitol. They murdered a police officer. Now, somebody tell me, name one time at a Black Lives Matter protest where a police officer has been killed. Y'all know why no police officers ever been killed at a Black Lives Matter protest? Because it was just as many damn police as it was people. But not here. Why? Because guess who had the power and control to decide how much law enforcement was at the Capitol? Donald Trump. Imagine that. Imagine the fact that the Capitol Police were left there by themselves and then had the audacity to have a damn press conference the other day and claim that they didn't know what was coming. This has been in social media. I even knew about it. We talked about it on multiple shows coming up to it. If I knew about it and I didn't even go look, why didn't they know? Because that's a lie. They knew they were coming and they thought that they were going to be able to control and tame this beast that has become the Donald Trump cult. It's out of control now. The cat is out of the bag. The genie is out of the bottle. And you can't control it now. It's a monster now. And it's too late. But I can tell you this much. They better stay away from me with all that anger. This mob mentality is where we are right now, y'all. And that's why I believe it was the show just before all of this. I told all y'all, watch your backs out here. Watch yourself. Because you have people who do not think straight. This is where we are. See, the Republican Party fueled these lies and fueled this idiot to continue doing what he does. But I am happy that Twitter has banned Donald Trump permanently. No more tweets. No more rallying the troops. No more putting the cables on these damn fools and letting them do your dirty work. That's over. And any network that touches him after this is foolish. So you got to remember, Republicans were never worried about mass voter fraud. They were worried about mass voter participation. That's why they worked so hard to gerrymander. You don't know what gerrymander means? Look it up. That's why they worked so hard to make voter suppression a thing. That was all deliberate to keep you from voting. That's why they came up with voter ID and signatures and all this other stuff. See, they figured they would discourage you from voting. It didn't work. What did I say earlier? When you try to keep us from something, all you do is solidify our resolve and make us stronger because we have to work harder to get where we are. You strengthened our muscles. That's all. We already know what we got to do. When we went to the polls, I saw people camped out, literally. They went prepared. They had whole backpacks on with water and food and chairs. All you did was you prepared us. Just like a child. You catch a kid in a lie, tell them what they did wrong and how you caught them. Now they know how not to get caught the next time. That's all. You strengthened them. They strengthened us. That's why we showed up and showed out. That's why Georgia clowned. Georgia showed up and showed out. Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff did that. 100,000 more voters than participated in the primary. I mean, in the general election. 100 more thousand in the runoff. What does that tell you? Your voter suppression tactics don't work. Stop it. You're wasting your time and you're making us stronger. That's all. And here we are. And now we have Democratic Senate, Democratic Congress, Democratic President. And we're going to be all right. It's going to take time, like it always has, but it's okay. Stacey Abrams, my hat is off. All I can say is I hope she runs for governor again because she's going to win it. It won't be no question. She's going to win it this time. She won it last time. You want to talk about voter fraud? That was voter fraud. But you didn't see her jumping up and down and crying about it. See? And now that Joe Biden is in office, what you won't see is me wearing a Joe Biden hat, flying a flag on the back of my truck. I don't have anything to prove. Of course, I'm not that big a fan anyway. But I know where we're headed now is better than where we've been. That's the part I care about. There's not a whole lot that he can do, in my opinion, to mess this up from where we've been. These sore losers. See, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. Donald Trump focusing on the winners because he's a loser. He always has been. And the only reason he's made it to where he is because of somebody else's money. He didn't make a damn money. He didn't make no money. He's broke now. And I hope they break him further for all the damage that he's done and all the lives that he's cost. People died this week. Whether we like what they did or we don't like what they did, people died unnecessarily because of lies. All lies. You know how much damage has been done in this country historically and today because somebody lied. Whatever happened to integrity, especially from a person who is sitting in the seat in the highest house in the land that controls the free world for the most part. Before I go, let me also remind you all, I knew it was something else I was forgetting. Y'all's girl, Maya Ponsetto, out in California. The young lady who attacked the young guy and his dad over her cell phone has been arrested. Oh yeah, they got her. She was the New York Police Department actually went out there to California, and she went on the Gayle King show to do an interview, which was, if you haven't seen it, look it up. She went on the Gayle King show to do this interview. See, this is that arrogance once again. She attacked that young man for his cell phone, thinking that it was hers. Why? Because he had the wrong complexion for the connection. She automatically assumed he had her phone. Fortunately, his father was there. He is now a damaged young man because of this incident. See, and they don't care about that part. They don't care about the PTSD and the psychological aspects of what happens to a young black man when he's accused of something that he did not do and treated that way as though he's a second-class citizen. See? So, fortunately, the New York police went out there and caught her at a stoplight after the Gayle King interview, pulled her over, and they actually had to drag her out of the car, which she fought. So now she got more charges. Good. I hope, and she's already fighting a DUI charge. No, I'm sorry, a public intoxication charge that she had on her already. So now she's got that, and she's getting charges in New York. In fact, I believe they're going to extradite her. So she'll be having, you don't want to go to jail in New York. That's something she's gonna have to deal with. But once again, the lies, the arrogance, the hubris, it's finally, even if it's only minuscule right now, it's finally being called on the carpet, and it's about time. One of the also, I found out today that one of the people who they caught at the Capitol had an assault rifle, several guns, and 11 Molotov cocktails in his car. He ain't getting out of jail. There was a time when that kind of thing would have got you hung. They put people to death for that. That's you're trying to overthrow the United States government. That's treason. They will put you to death for that. But I guarantee you he's going away for a very long time. And there'll be more like him in the near future. I hope y'all got y'all resumes on the respective job websites, because there will be a lot of jobs coming available very soon as these videos turn out and as the police begin to round up and lock up the individuals that they see on the videos. Because I'll be honest with y'all, I'm gonna be really interested to see where they stop with that. Like, because you're on federal grounds, you're in the Capitol. Oh. And by the way, I don't have it in front of me. Doggone it, I wish I did. I think it's on my other computer. Y'all see my other computers back there. I had to get on another system today because I had some problems. But there is a statute. It is a federal crime to enter the Capitol building unlawfully. So everybody that went in there, even if they didn't do anything, if they went in there, period, that's a charge. So I was sitting there watching a video the other day, and what I found funny, what I thought was really interesting, was that there were individuals who were smart enough to actually cover their faces. They kept their masks on. They weren't susceptible to the super spreader thing. They had their masks on, hoodies on, and things over their face, and glasses. Come on, dog, you gonna do that kind of thing? Be smart about it. But it's some dummies like that cat in the Bullwinkle helmet. He's going to jail. He's just one of many. The guy that was sitting behind the desk with his feet kicked up with his arrogant interviews that he did all on TV, they've already arrested him. We ain't talking about misdemeanors. We talking about federal crimes. These people who love their guns so much, that's over. You don't get to carry a gun no more. Them Fed charges, baby. If nothing else, the amount of hoops that they're going to have to jump through are going to be enormous. They're going to have to jump through so many hoops to beat these cases. It ain't going to be funny. So let's see how many of the white nationalist groups and organizations and Donald Trump supporters raise money for their bail and their legal defense. Because I guarantee you, I bet you $1 to a damn donut, 90% of them can't afford the lawyers. Not the ones they're going to need. This extremism is dangerous for everybody, including them. It's not a good thing. So, y'all, I hope that I have covered as much of this stuff as I would have liked to. I tend to forget things as I'm going along sometimes because I get fired up and I get involved, but that's okay. I have heard people say that this is not our fight. Well, on the one hand, I agree. On the other hand, I disagree. I think that we represent a very significant financial place in this country, despite the narrative, despite what popular opinion is. We spend money in this country to the tune of trillions, and I'm talking black people. Now, a lot of people will say, oh man, you always talking about, but this is the black factor. That's where you are right now. This is the black factor. If you have a problem with that, I know my demographic and I'm happy to serve them. If you have a problem with that particular part of this particular show, I bid you adieu. Black folks make up an incredible amount of economic power in this country. And we need to learn, for those of us who don't know, how to collectively harness that power and make it work in our favor. We need to learn how to collectivize our businesses, our ideologies, and our thought processes, and support one another in ways that will benefit our futures and those coming behind us, making our ancestors proud along the way. So, let me say, ladies and gentlemen, begin to be smarter about the way we handle our money. Learn when to hold your money and when to spend your money. Learn who to keep in your circle and who to dismiss. All skin folks ain't kin folks. There are those who work diligently and subversively against us. There are those within our own ranks, our infiltrators, our agent provocateurs who work against us. Like many of those who went to Washington while claiming that it wasn't them, to get the attention that they seemingly need from white people. Leave them there. Let them stay where they are. When you recognize them, let them be. See, I believe in Harriet Tubman's philosophy. If they're gonna give you away, if they're going to mess up the escape, if they're going to cause problems and blow your cover, shoot them and leave them where you found them. And I mean that metaphorically, of course. We don't want anybody shooting anybody. But just understand, everybody can't go with you on your way to the top. And everybody's not meant to be at the top. But for those who are, you're going to try and bring those that are willing to go and willing to learn. But those that are not, you got to let them go. You got to move on. It's time. It's time to go, y'all. It's time to go. And we have a lot of them. You saw them at the Capitol. They need to be left there. Let them wallow at masses' feet and continue to be bed wenches to those who will continue to treat them the way they, I guess, like being treated. I guess they enjoy it. I don't know. But and don't misunderstand me. I have zero problems with interracial relationships. I have zero problems with people with races being friends and whatever you want to call any of that. I'm not going to say I got white friends because then I start sounding like white people talking about I got black friends. I'm not going. But the fact of the matter is this. We're not talking about a group of white people who are the happy-go-lucky, let's go have a drink group like most of us know. We're talking about the ones who go to Washington and break down the doors of the capital of our country to try and destroy democracy and take over in a mob of madness. Big difference. Huge difference. We're talking about two different groups of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that said, I know I forgot something. I always do. But with that said, it's time for me to go, y'all. We've been at this an hour and a half. And I want you to know I appreciate each and every one of y'all every single time y'all come in here and support me and follow this show and listen to me run my mouth and vent and raise hell. I appreciate you. Now, don't forget, all of the platforms that are available. We are on Facebook, of course, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, and Twitter. You can catch me on all of those platforms. Do not let Facebook be the reason why you don't get this show. Okay? You can also catch the podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Stitch, Amazon. I can't even think of all of them. And 2 or 3 more. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Do not forget, I don't have one of my copies over here with me. Do not forget to get your copy of The Black Factor, the book, my book. There are a lot of very interesting things in there. A lot of historical facts, things that you should know. Don't forget to get your copy at bmforbes.com. If not, just catch me on any one of my social media pages, and I am happy to accommodate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Black Factor, where perspective is everything, and I got the news that you can use. I want to let y'all know. Thank you. I love you. Everybody have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Cover up. Take care of yourselves. And we going to get on down. Love, peace, y'all, and chicken grease. It's time for me to go. I got to go get me something to eat. Holla.